I'm Jen. That's what I was going to talk about. So I love wildlife, and as you can see here, gazing longingly at what is on my hand, which if you can't see, is a privet hawk moth, which is one of our biggest moths, as if it was my own child. Look at that. Look at the love. And that's not my partner, but may as well be. So, yes, sorry about the notes. I have to do this. So, yes, tonight I was proposing the question, can birdwatching save the National Health Service? Because we all know it needs saving. Then after reading the news with Trump and the Paris Climate Agreement going out the window and EU and all that shit, I elevated it to, can birdwatching save us all? Yeah, but the content's the same because I didn't have time to change it. So sorry. And for newbies, that's a great tit. No sniggering at the back, please. Oh, good, you didn't laugh. That's really good. I like that. So now I'm going to talk about some really serious stuff, so sorry about that. Yeah, we've got a really urgent crisis in our NHS. There's all sorts of social problems and health issues, and one of the biggest growing problems in our society is our mental health and mental illness, and it's a huge problem, and it's chronically underfunded. Close to 2 million people will access the NHS for their severe mental health problems every year. Around 1 million of them will be referred to psychological therapies for common problems like anxiety, depression, and like I have. And even severely ill people can't get the bed in psychiatric wards. So there's a bit of an issue. And we know it's really common. 1 in 4 of us here will have a mental health issue, and 1 in 6 of us in this room will probably have experienced symptoms this week. So, you know, you're among friends. And for those of you that have realised the figures don't really stack up, 2/3 of people with depression alone won't get any help from the NHS. So because of this, there's lots of other serious health issues that will happen, including obesity and type 2 diabetes. That's all linked. And some may even turn to suicide. So here's a short poem written not by me, but at a notorious suicide location in Sussex. So it's called Jackdaws at Beachy Head. Down the sheer depth of Beachy Head. Oh, hang on, I've not done the slides for ages, sorry. Oh, good, it's just the next one. Okay, back to that, where you were. Serious face. So, Jackdaws at Beachy Head. Down the sheer depth of Beachy Head, 500 feet of fossil rock reared, dazzling white above its mother sea. Tumble in play the dapper jackdaws. Black stones grow sudden wings, plummet and sweep out over the snarl and chaos of the broken, dangerous water. They chop with flinty cries, the gusty sunlit air in a child's ecstasy. But we stand mute on time and the dwarf grass that grows in soil 1 finger deep, caught between joy and envy, caught between hope and despair. Sorry. Needed a bit of light relief, didn't you? So here in the poem, the protagonist is talking about at this cliff edge. I think it's the highest in our coastline, and watching the birds fly freely across around the cliff, and maybe wishing that they could be free too. But actually, it's giving them some joy and some hope as well, so we can hold on to that. And so that's what I think is actually the solution to our mental health problems. It's birdwatching. There you go. I don't know what the hell that is. I just found it on the internet. And it's not this kind. I don't know what this chap's doing. That's really seedy. It's a bit more like this. Where are we? And it's not a new idea that birdwatching and our well-being is linked. So here I've got the Collins Guide to Birdwatching, published in 1963. And if you turn to the section that says, what does it say? How to watch birds. It says, they've done their job. It says, nowadays, more and more people find their mental refreshment and manage to maintain a balanced mind in an ever more nerve-wracking world by visiting the country at weekends or on holidays. Lovely. So it's not surprising that more and more people than ever are coming to enjoy our wild birds and realise they're more important. They're an important part of our natural heritage. So yes, they're talking about essentially mental well-being and mental health and the fact that birdwatching helps people. Although they do say something in there about birdwatching is like telling the symphonies of Brahms from Beethoven, identifying fine wines or motor cars. So definitely a book written for a girl written from southeast London, so I don't know why I'm reading this. But anyway, so it's not an holiday, and it's not something that I've come up on my own. Here we are. So birdwatching, it's long been felt that it's connected, but around 80% of us live in urban environments. So that's a bit crap. That's 4 in 5 of us live in urban environments, and Bristol's pretty green, so this doesn't really count. So you'd think it was pretty useless, wouldn't you? But actually, our cities are really, really good havens for birds. They're actually better than some of our countryside because we've completely buggered that. So it's a great place to look at birds. You're all scientists here, so you're waiting for the evidence, and here it comes, don't worry. Recently, a study's been published that found that watching birds near your home is good for your mental health. So there you go. So it's whether in your cities or leafy suburbs. So this study's by academics at the University of Exeter, the BTO, which is the British Trust for Ornithology, and the University of Queensland in Australia. And they surveyed 270 people, and they surveyed their mental health, and they were from different backgrounds and incomes and ethnicities, so you've got covered bases there. And they found that people living in neighbourhoods with more birds and shrubs and trees that they live in are less likely to suffer from depression, anxiety and stress. So that's pretty big, I think. They also found that those who spent less time outside than usual than their previous week were then more likely to report that they felt anxious or depressed because they hadn't spent as much time outside. And you don't even need to know anything about birds. Most people didn't. They just saw birds. Doesn't matter. It's all good. So you're all fine. Yeah. But a lot of you are now going, oh, but it's only one study. It doesn't matter. Yes, it's only one study. Where are the literature reviews? Like, where are the meta-analysis? Whatever. Well, there is stuff, not necessarily particularly on birds and mental health, but a European report by the Institute of European Environmental Policy, CRITES, spent a year reviewing 200 academic studies for the report, and they showed the dynamics between health and nature and well-being. So they found that people were happier when they lived in urban areas with more green space. They had less instances of mental health issues, and doctors prescribed fewer antidepressants to people in urban areas that had more trees than urban areas that had less trees. So that's pretty big too. So I think that nature-based solutions can act as a preventative and low-cost treatment to reduce public sector expenditure and save our NHS and all the other stuff. So Nature Pill could really be actually the silver bullet. And what's more, that was meant to go with that bit, but whatever. There we go. It's apparently a hipster craze now, which, because I like being perverse now, makes me not want to do it. But yeah, so if you can't read those, it says the rise of the hipster birdwatcher and hipster twitchers. So there you go. But all the articles seem to talk about men, by the way. There you go. But anyway, so just to show how great being into birds is, we'll have a bit of fun now because I've done a lot of heavy stuff. And in case I haven't convinced you, so being into birds can be really fun, and you can have a lot of fun with it because you can watch British Bake Off and use the hashtag BakeOffBirding, which actually happened last series. So people were using Bake Off birding. So originally they were just like spotting birds in Bake Off, the calls and physical like mallards wandering into shot and ticking them off. But then the Autumn Watch digital team at the NHU had a bit of fun and asked their followers to come up with their bird baking puns. So there's one for you. It's a party ringoozle. You'd find that funny if you knew much about birds, but there you go. So this next bit might fall flat. So I've got some birds and I want you to shout out what baked good you think it might be. So first of all, we have a dunnock. Any guesses?
Dunnock's tea cake.
Yes, that man. Yes. Dunnock's tea cake. Next one, we have a bittern. Any guesses? Bittenberg is correct. Yes, well done. Next one, we have a smew. Any guesses for smew? Smew? No, this has got you, hasn't it? It's tiramisu. This is a great bustard. Probably a little bit easier, this one.
Bustard tart.
Yeah, there we go. Bustard tart. Yeah. This is my personal favourite. This is a jackdaw. What do you think a jackdaw is? It's a flapjack door. There we go. Wow, that is a really big groan. So a couple more. We've got a corn crake here. Corn crake cakes. Yes, well done. Last one is this is a stone curlew. So that's actually a scone curlew, but it doesn't work because it's a scone. And the actual bird is funnier, isn't it? So, okay, I think I've well run out of time. So anyway, just keep your ears and eyes open. We're surrounded by nature. We are nature. And you'll see things that you just wouldn't expect. You might even see that chap, which would be brilliant. So yeah, grab some binoculars, grab a hipster, and go birding.